It was about 6 months into my communications degree that I started telling people I was in media studies because I just couldn't deal with the stupid misconceptions that people would come up with. A lot of people call a communications degree a jack of all trade degrees, and I wholeheartedly disagree with this. I say this because I had a professor who was teaching my third year history of advertising course, and she said something that completely flipped my world upside down. This is Q&A, but Canadian. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Cheyenne, and if you're new here, I make social and political commentary videos. I try to post every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 p.m. So if you like this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more content. The reason I wanted to make a video about my communications degree is because there's so much going on in the world right now that has actually stopped and made me think about the theories and theorists that I learned in my communications degree. So I think I want to start making videos about like the media, how it influences us, how it changes behavior, and how social media, television, movies can all be used to change the way society operates. So if that seems like content that you're interested in, don't forget to subscribe because I will be making much more videos about that stuff. So the first thing I have to talk about a communications degree is the misconceptions surrounding what the hell you're even studying. I will never forget the day I was at the mall, I was getting like service on my phone, and the guy was just waiting for his computer to like fix my phone. So it turned out we both go to the same university, so we started talking about what degrees we're in. I forgot what even degree he said he was in, and I told him I was in a communications degree, and he was like, oh, that's cool, like presentation skills. And I was just like, this is somebody that goes to the exact same university as me, and he thinks I was gonna pay $40,000+ to learn how to use PowerPoint. I honestly couldn't even believe it. I was like, if you don't know what a degree is, don't make stupid assumptions. Just ask. Like, it was about 6 months into my communications degree that I started telling people I was in media studies because I just couldn't deal with the stupid misconceptions that people would come up with. And half the time it was like literally, oh, that's cool, presentation skills. Like, no. The other thing is that people always try to downplay your degree. Like, you're in communications, but you're not in journalism. Or you're in communications, but you're not in film and television. Or you're in communications and you're not using math or science or whatever. At the end of the day, you're in this program because you want to be in this program. If other people don't understand that, it's not their problem. They're not paying the tuition. So let's talk about what you actually do in a communications degree. Well, there are about 50 theories and theorists that they force down your throat in the first year, and then you spend the next 3 years writing essays using those theories. I think that's a pretty good summary. So a lot of people try to downplay communications degrees because there's no math or science, but I can tell you right now, writing an essay for a communications degree is no joke. The theorists that you'll learn about in a communications degree, like Roland Barthes, Stuart Hall, Ferdinand de Saussure, Michel Foucault, these guys' readings are not easy. Like, I had to read Michel Foucault literally 10 times before I even understood a little bit of what he was saying. Honestly, first year is literally just wrapping your mind around what these people are even saying. So then the next 3 years of your degree would literally just be using these theories to understand whatever you decide to write an essay about. It's also very dependent on what your university sort of frames their communications degree as. Different universities will approach their communication degrees in different ways. My university allowed students to branch off their communications degree into 3 categories, which were government, media, and information technology, which is basically like the internet, cell phones, televisions, computers, all that stuff. Our communications degree was sort of semi in liberal arts department and also semi in the media department. So there's a lot of crossover where you could study communication studies as like a policy major. The government side of communication studies would sort of be like getting out the message to everybody that needs to know it. So kind of like coronavirus, like think about how we knew what social distancing and the importance of wearing a mask was. If you said flatten the curve in January, what would you even think of? But we've all just sort of developed a new language in regards to dealing with this pandemic, and that has a lot to do with communications that have gone out through the media, social media, news, just conversations with people, posters, bus signs, like all of that is stuff that you learn in a communications degree. So film, television, public relations, journalism, advertising. A communications degree in that sort of sense is more about how do you connect the product or the issue that you're trying to bring awareness to? How do you connect that to the greater culture and get people to join your conversation? Like, that's what a communications degree does in like the media realm. But I also know some people who did communications degrees and it was very social justice focused. So their degree was more focused on how media representations recreate systems of oppression. That was the most communications degree lingo I could possibly use to describe that. It's important to know what kind of stream of communication studies you're looking for and make sure the university you are applying to offers that stream. So one of the most important decisions I made during my communications degree was to pair it with another subject. I did my degree at York University in Toronto, Canada, and the major credits required to get this degree weren't that many, so I was actually able to take a lot of electives that could build up to a minor. I know someone who paired a communications degree with psychology, so if you wanted to be like a creative director in an agency, or if you wanted to just run marketing for like a Fortune 500 company, that is a goldmine degree pairing. I know people that did a communications degree with political economy, so that's definitely a direct route into government communications. I did communications and marketing, and the reason I decided to pair it with marketing is sort of because of my dad. So a little story time. By the time I was in third year university, I'd already been in 3 different degree programs. So my dad was very distressed when I told him I was switching my degree for the 3rd time in the 3rd year of university. So he told me, you're about to graduate, you need to start looking at job offerings so that you can see if your skill set matches up with what they're looking for. So when I started looking for advertising jobs and like television jobs, like at a television network, what I noticed is that they wanted a lot of digital marketing skills. So a communications degree by itself is very theoretical and very ivory tower, especially depending on which university you go to, but all of the jobs are in digital marketing. So a communications degree is really good to pair with digital marketing because you're able to strategize about how you want to target certain people based on the language and cultural references that they understand. So when I say language, I don't mean English, French, or Spanish. I'm talking about like pop culture language. Like when someone says spill the tea, you don't actually think they're gonna spill a cup of tea. So our communications degree is really good at teaching you how culture works, how it's created, how it's circulated within a society. And that translates really well into digital marketing campaigns where you're trying to target certain cultural groups to promote whatever product you're trying to sell. So the really good thing about digital marketing is that it's free to learn. You can go on Google AdWords, you can go on Hootsuite or Buffer and learn all of the digital marketing lingo, all of the strategies for planning and creating content so that when you're ready to apply for internships or apply for jobs, you already have that knowledge and skills to do well in that position. Because getting an internship while you're in your communications degree is so important. The good thing is that getting an internship might not be that hard if you sell yourself properly. There are so many nonprofits, so many small businesses, so many websites that hire freelance digital marketers. So if you tell them you're getting a communications degree that allows you to understand how to position products or services within a larger culture, and you're trying to hone your digital marketing skills, you have a really good chance of getting that internship. Another must-have for anybody that wants to do a communications degree is to join groups. My university had a communication studies student association, and they would bring in guest speakers who worked in the industry that you could ask questions, and they would explain like how they got to where they were in the industry. We also did tours of different television broadcasting networks, which is really cool to see where you could see yourself fitting in those areas. We also had networking galas where people from the industry would come and talk to us, and we can sort of pick their brains on what it's like to work in different aspects of the communications industry, and also just make connections on LinkedIn that look really nice. There are a lot of people out there that think a communications degree is useless, and they're wrong and rude. A lot of people call a communications degree a jack of all trades degree, and they'll say like a jack of all trades is a master of none. I wholeheartedly disagree with this. I say this because I had a professor who was teaching my 3rd year history of advertising course, and she said something that completely flipped my world upside down. So she was explaining the final essay, what we had to write about, what to research, what theories to include in our essay. And what she said was, don't just write an essay to write an essay. Think about what industries you want to work in and write essays about that industry. The reason she said this is because a communications degree is such a broad degree that you can really do whatever you want. They will teach you the theories, but they won't tell you what topic to write about. So whatever industry you're interested in, whether it's cars, aviation, medicine, food, hospitality, you could literally write or do a project of any single one of these industries as long as you just incorporate their theories. What would this world be without cell phones, without TV, without the internet? All of those are communication technologies, and they've all drastically changed how we live our lives. So what a communication degree teaches you is how these technologies are altering human behavior, how they're changing society. And that's really important to know because the people that work on these technologies and the people that create the apps that go on these devices, these guys are programmers. They think in ones and zeros. When they create something, they're not thinking about what effect that has on society. That's why Facebook is in so much trouble with fake news. If there were more people with communication degrees working in these organizations when they were younger, they would have shaped how these platforms were created because they're able to see how these things affect society. That was a lot. Obviously, this is something that gets me very fired up. I just feel like there's a lot of people talking about communications degree in like a negative way. Like it was so boring, so useless, but I had the complete opposite experience. And now I just want to make videos about what I learned in my degree because I think it's so relevant to help people understand what is going on these days. So if there's anything that I said in this video that got you thinking, let me know in the comment sections. I'm literally at the beginning of planning out what I want to say about culture, media, and technology. So if I know what you guys are interested in, it'll help me figure out what videos to make next. And make sure you subscribe to my channel so that when I make those videos, you get that notification. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.